I'm going to make one adjustment. I'm going to add the stickers because I can. Ooh. There. Place that up there. Place that sticker right over there. There we are. Fine, that'll do. Yeah, that's so dumb that that's doing that right there. Really? I cannot move a sticker to an area. Oh, that's the dumbest thing ever. Yeah, because I really want to be down here. YouTube doesn't allow you to move the sticker to a new place. Let's see here. I guess I'm going to end that. Never mind. We're moving up with it. What's up, y'all? Maker209, how's it going? Handy Gaming. Lunar Lures. Okay. There we are. Sweet. All right, what do we got? Can you demonstrate the cookie cutter? Do I have a cookie cutter to demonstrate? I got a cookie cutter to demonstrate around here. There's one. There's there's one of our cookie cutters. I have a chocolate chip cookie here that's perfectly round, and that should be fine. Just like so. And then you pull that out, and there we are. There's a square cookie cutter. There you are, demonstrated for you. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. That was too big of a chunk of cookie. I shouldn't have done that. All right, guys, what questions do you have? Well, do you need help inside of a 3D printing business? What do you want to know about inside of the print farm? All those kind of things. No new updates to teleport. We had a couple of bugs reported yesterday that there's a thing up with the profit presentation on individual orders. We'll be pushing an update on Tuesday that will fix that. So that should fix that issue over there. They're still all charging the same and everything's fine. But yeah, it should be fine. Can you demonstrate it with a slicer? With a cookie cutter, just upload it. Put it into the slicer and print it. That's all you got to do. Any slicer settings are fine. Cookie cutters are designed so that they will print fine basically with any settings. So you're good to go. And if you're making any part that needs the slicer to be configured in a certain way in order to work, your part is not well enough designed, cookie cutters are fine. They are one of those categories of parts that'll work just fine. Where are we from? I'm originally from a cattle ranch in Eastern Oregon. And then I worked in Arizona for a period of time, studied and worked in Arizona for a period of time. And currently, Slant 3D is in Idaho of the United States. So our main mega farm, which is spec'd out for 3,000 machines, is here in Boise, Idaho. And then we're working on getting additional factories set up across the United States. That's where we're from. I'm trying to use the cookie cutter tool, and I'm not sure how to use it. Ask it for a cookie cutter. That's all you got to do. If you're using Cookie Conjure, just go ahead and ask it for a cookie cutter or upload a photo, and it will create a cookie cutter. That's all you got to do. Hey, Hathu from India. Good to see you. Creative username. What's up, man? I'm making crop charms to sell. What would be the best type of filament to use? I don't. Okay, so crop charms. I assume it's a charm like a bracelet charm. You can just use PLA. That's fine. That's totally fine. Hathu. Yes, I know India. we have a number of teleport and portals users who come from India. They use it to sell into the United States. Because if you're in India, you can create a listing on portals and then sell it to people in the United States. And you don't have to pay international shipping. So it's a really useful thing for a lot of folks. What else is going on? Oh, thanks, Jolly FC. Appreciate you watching. Guys, the Skydozer on the Washington bill, the podcast went out today of my statement on the whole thing. I'm not engaging with it, and I'm not talking about it. I do not care. I think it's a waste of time to care about it. My statement is over there. The Washington bill does nothing for anything. It is not active. It does not matter. Yes, it's not a good thing. It's stupid, and it doesn't actually work, and all the rest of this stuff. But because it's all so stupid and messed up, and I am not a Washington resident, which means only Washington residents care, but there aren't 3D printing people over there. It's a complete waste of cognitive effort and time to diddle around with it. So I just don't care. I agree. I think I do agree with Louis, but yeah, I'm just not engaging with it because I got other stuff to do. What is the amount of offset you need to do in a 3D print to let it slide freely with almost no resistance? Yeah, from the layer lines, but also without it being too loose. Like 0.2. 0.2 spacing is generally pretty safe for most stuff. That's the best way. That's kind of a generic rule, but it depends on what material you're using. It depends on the machine you're using. 0.2 is pretty universal, but yeah. Nobody else, it's clear, nobody else will post on the teleport portals. You can't compete with India. It will be like Upwork or other things like this. In order to sell on portals, like it really doesn't matter where you're coming from in the world. There's not a competitive thing. The reason India had a lower cost of labor for a period of time, but that just means that they can do more. That has nothing to do with success on portals. So if you're like a US resident or an EU resident or something like that, your success on portals has absolutely nothing to do with if there are more people on those platforms. So anyhow, Gabe, how is the wall art category performing with your existing clients? Wall art is pretty good. It comes up. There's a few people who sell it and do really well. The trick with wall art is that you got to charge enough for it, and then you run ads against it. But that's basically true of any category. If you make a semi-decent product and you price it correctly so that you can afford to pay ads, which is, by the way, 30% of whatever the cost of your product is, then you'll do fine. So many people who sell stuff think, oh, it cost me $10 to make, I'm going to sell it for 12, and then I'll make a profit. And then they have no margin at all to do anything useful. If you make it for 10, you need to spend 10 to advertise it, and then you sell it for 30. That's what you do. Being more specific, I have any day off for you? Nope. I work 7 days a week. This morning I had, I guess with time off or whatever else it was, I went to breakfast in church, and then I was going to go do brunch with people, and then I realized I had to come do a live stream. By the way, if any of you guys are a young man or human like in your 20s, leave this stream right now and go outside. I don't care if it's snowing. I don't care if it's cold or hot or anything else. Go outside, wander down the street, or go get lunch at a restaurant, or wander down to a park or a river or an alleyway or something like that. Go do something else. Get out of here, because this right here is not helping your life. Go meet somebody. Go find a girl. I do this every single day. You'll catch me later. But if you're currently watching, you need to leave and go do something else, because sitting at a computer watching this stream is not a productive use of your life. Go live life. Do you do personal consulting? I want to get started with selling 3D prints this year. I have one product designed and several to complete. Just wanted to run my plan by you. Go ahead and run your plan by me, Eric. You're talking to me right now. I don't do one-on-one consulting with people. I'm not a guru. I am not a consultant. I'm not an advertising marketer. I run a 3D printing factory. The consulting that I do occurs on this stream, so everybody else can learn from it. I don't do walled art stuff, and I am not a guru who is trying to make money off of people by telling them my grand ideas. So I give my grand ideas away for free by talking on this stream. So if you have a question, go ahead and ask it, and I am happy to answer right now. But I do not do one-on-one consulting. The main thing I would say for you is that if you have a product ready to go right now, you need to get it out the door. Get it listed today, right now. That is the baseline. If you don't do that, then you're not going to get a business started. You got to get going. That's kind of fun. Like, this is just an interesting visual thing. I can't finish it the other way. Grilling for the family, ready for the game. Jimmy, what are you doing on this stream? Go talk to your family. Where are your kids? Why aren't they talking to their father? Walked 7 miles this morning, worked out. It's snowing heavily. Good. People are out there. You know cricket? I don't know anything about cricket. I know that you guys have a flat bat, and it's more boring than baseball. And I know that because a British guy told me that. Alrighty, what else, people? He is not wrong. Get out there and live before life happens, and you end up being 48 in a wheelchair. Just saying. Well, going outside, your life doesn't have to pass you that much and that kind of stuff. Life is lived by doing those kind of things, but it's certainly not lived by being on live streams. About 3D printing factory, what laws do you have in USA for 3D printer factory? Do you have to have eco things, or do you have to have a contract with a recycle company for the waste? So a lot of our waste can get turned back into filament, but there aren't yet any real regulatory requirements around it. Happy Sunday. What's up, Lori? Talk about Tangled. Any updates? We turned loose gray filament over on Tangled a couple weeks ago. So there's gray PLA and black PLA that you can get for $10 a kilogram over on tangledfilament.com. That's the update. So we introduced gray, rolling along fine. It's fully there. It's active. It's shipping. It's doing all the things it should be doing. We're working on PCTG. I think we could probably get a $20 PCTG out. There might be an announcement coming out about that. You need to be on the email list or a Tangled user there. But yeah, Tangled is doing fine. No big adjustments to it, really. Are your services based on time, material, or based on prices that I sell products at? It has nothing to do with your products. So when you upload a file to Teleport, it will instantly be priced. And we look at complexity of the part, how much support it has, how much material it uses, what print time it has, all this shenanigans. And then we tell you it costs $4 to make that part. And then you can sell it for whatever you want. We have people who are selling 5 things that we charge them $5 to make that they sell for $50. So you can price it however you want. What percentage of Teleport users are sellers versus customers? I'm thinking of a project that would take forever with my single printer. So Teleport plugs into your Etsy store or your Shopify, so we don't interact with the customers at all. It is only sellers. Every Teleport user is a seller. We don't have like customers wandering by or something like that. What do you recommend for design help? My current product uses an embedded magnet, and I want to design an internal printed spring to eliminate the magnet. I can't answer that without like seeing the thing. What you'll probably need to do, well, if you're replacing okay, so the magnet is going to pull a thing together. Oh, you're probably using a magnet as like a compressive spring, aren't you? Well, design a spring to it. That's not too bad. We have a video about springs somewhere on the channel that'll show you some different ways of doing it. Most of them are extension springs, but you can do a compressive one really easily. I'm just trying to set up a custom Gridfinity print on demand site for people that don't have a 3D printer. The Slant 3D API do one-off. Yeah. The API would be perfect for that. You set, the material, the color, and then you say, here's the file, print it. And the API will start it printing. We're going to release a video here in a couple of weeks showing like 5 different applications kind of like that are using the API that we're going to do. We're doing it like, it's like a vibe coding demonstration. Like I made 5 3D printing apps on Lovable, and we're just going to do that. Can I have a company account on Teleport? Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, sign up. We even have an enterprise tier for folks who are like at companies who want more control. When should I get concerned that my product sucks? 2 days on portals, 23 views, no sales. You do not have enough views. You do not have enough time. So, did 100 of the right people see your product and then not buy? A bunch of views doesn't really matter because the views might be from people who aren't related to your product. So do you present it correctly? All of this is just a question of like how long you want to work at it. Any product can be sold, but 100 views is not the correct number, because if it's the wrong people looking at it, that's not the issue. 100 views doesn't matter because if your listing doesn't communicate the product well enough, then the views is not the issue. Generally, what I would recommend if you want to know if your product is good, number one, it needs to exist for 3 months, continuously getting views during that time. You need to share it in groups around watering holes where people who are interested in that product will be, and then you show them the product and then see if you get any sales from that. And then, okay, if you have had 100 people of the correct people who are should be interested in your product, look at your product and then not buy, you can evaluate, was your product good or is your listing garbage? If the listing is not garbage, if it has good photos and a good description, giving lots of detail and explaining what it is, and the right people saw it, then your product is garbage and you should move on to something else. But quite frankly, if you have just started out, you probably need about 10 to 20 items to find out which ones are good. So yeah, that's the trick there. I think that one of the best things I have learned from you is to just do it and stop thinking about it too much. Yes. If there's nothing else you take away from any of these streams, if there's nothing else that anybody gets from these streams, it is to just go. If you're sitting here waiting for me to answer your magic question about how to get some sales or how to get the perfect product or whatever else it was, you're never going to get started. You need to just grab some things and go. List them for sale someplace and you will learn. If you are open and working at it, you will learn. But you need to have something out there. Too many people get caught in this idea of I'm going to get a perfect plan and then I'm going to turn it loose and it's all going to work. And that's never going to happen. Grab an item from somewhere, someplace, your own thing, and then list it. And then do that 10, 20, 100 more times until you learn what works. And that is how you get successful. There's the idea of people who the fact that you'll have some perfect plan and it'll work is complete BS. It has never happened. No one has ever done that. Does Slant 3D only do the 3D print, pack, and ship, or can magnets be included in the product? Magnets can be included, right, Parks? We have, when you're creating a match inside of Teleport, you can add in magnets and light pucks and wireless chargers and those types of things. And then they can be added in. The magnet holds a metal scale in a holder so it will not fall out. Very little pull force so you can reach your shirt pocket and grab the scale for quick access. Oh, gotcha. I don't know how spring helps you there, though, Eric V6. Mostly useful. Big hug from Argentina. What's up? Do you have any recommendations to where to get wiring done for electronics? Maybe need a couple hundred units done. Very often, well, there's PCBWay. Not a sponsor, but it's a way to get it done. The other option, very often there's local, like PCB manufacturers. You're looking for a PCB manufacturer, and they might be able to get something done for you. Is fuzzy skin still the way to go? Fuzzy skin will always be the way to go. Textures are a superpower of 3D printing. Use them all the time, everywhere. What else, folks? Tangled, got the updates, gray, black, $10 a spool. Teleport did the facelift last week. Everything available in Teleport can be used with the API. Yes, that is true. The API has... Teleport is a wrapper of the API, so yes. Anything that you see happen in Teleport or any other application is using the API. So yeah. By the way, if anybody wants to clone the API, they should. Or clone Teleport, you should. Why do customers who ask the most questions rarely buy? For the same reason that entrepreneurs who ask the most questions rarely sell. People are looking for an excuse not to do the actual thing. People who are decisive are decisive. People who are indecisive never make a decision. People who ask a lot of questions are trying to find some way to be told the correct thing to do, but because of that, they will never be sure that they make the right decision. So they will never make a decision until it's forced upon them or something else. So yes, customers who ask the most questions are very often the worst customers and worth the least because they take up a ton of time and they don't actually do anything. Because indecisive people are simply indecisive. And they're looking for certainty in some kind of a way because somehow they've lived a life where they've never had to deal with uncertainty. It's kind of like, well, I went to school and then I was given a job and then all the rest of this and life happened to them. But when they finally have to make a decision, they don't know what to do. So they ask a lot of questions, but they will always find another excuse to not go with you or something. In all fairness, though, when you have those customers who ask a lot of questions, yes, they will very rarely buy, but you will see the order of importance of what someone has. Those customers are stupidly valuable because they will ask all the questions as they see a thing that they're worried about. And if you can eliminate those things, if they can ask those questions and then you address those questions, and then you're like, oh, they asked what size it was. I need a better photo of sizing. Oh, they asked what colors are available. I need to show the colors more clearly. Oh, they asked how fast does it ship? Oh, I forgot to put that in the description. You add those things in, and now everybody else is able to convert more quickly because all of those doubts are hit for them. So it's just a better overall experience. So customers who ask questions are really, really valuable because you understand what people care about. And they are annoying, and they won't buy very often because they will just never make the decision. But they surface those concerns that a lot of other customers would never mention. Like a really good rule of thumb is like if somebody messages you, there are 10 other people thinking it. So address whatever people are worried about as completely as possible. Because it's not, oh, this only came up once, it's only for this person. No, it's for other people. Make it disappear. Okay, so the Infinity Customizer can include magnet locations, but actually inserting them or assembly has to be done by the end user with an assembly manual, or can components be assembled by Slant? Ryan, if you're, or Rye Parks, if you're using, I assume you're Ryan, but if you're using the API, then assembly can't be in there because there's no way for you to transfer assembly information through the API. So yes, the end user would have to include them. Love that point of view. Oh, thanks, Jan, as well. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can have everything in the description already and they will still ask questions. Lori, that is totally true. Like, here's the thing. You can have every piece of information possible and people will still not know. I still get questions in the stream of like, does teleport connect to Etsy? Teleport connects to every e-commerce store. But here's the thing, like there is an infinite patience that you as an entrepreneur has to have in that the whole world does not know your stuff and the whole world is also busy and does not have time to read your things. So even though that comes up all the time and you're like, oh, people don't read the description, is your description too verbose? Should you be using bullet points rather than paragraphs? Can you reformat it? Can you put it into the images? So as a person is scrolling through the 5 images, there is text that is drip fed over there, like 6 inches wide, 5 colors available, ships in 2 days as they scroll through the images. Like there are ways of getting around this because I can't message an Amazon seller and say, hey, how big is this thing? So Amazon's found a way to work it out to where all the information is there. You also deal with a return. Oh, by the way, people, oh, shoot. We need to add this into the 3D print price calculator. There's an app that we made called 3dprintpricecalculator.com. I forgot to include the cost of returns inside of there. There is a 15%. Most stores, well, Amazon has a 15% return rate. Other sellers will have less, and you can say, oh, I don't accept returns and that kind of stuff, but now you're creating customer disloyalty. But we need to include the cost of returns and stuff. Well, yeah, sometimes they're just checking on whether it's legit or not, or did you just copy and paste? I don't know what's that about. Why doesn't Portals have the same color options as Teleport? Portals is designed to maximize the number of sales for a seller. So it has the most popular and most important colors there so that sellers on Teleport have the highest chance of success. Because like one of the really common mistakes that people make when selling things is like they say, oh, there's 10 colors available. I'm going to make it available in all 10 colors. But that's the worst thing to do because you will decrease your sales on a listing if you have too many choices on it. You create decision fatigue inside the customers. So we have restricted portals to fewer colors, but also the most popular colors so that you can pick a color for that product. And that way all your photography matches, the customer's not confused, what they see is what they get. And customers are more happy and you get more sales. I've been doing e-commerce for 25 years and have done all of those things. They still ask questions that are right there. Yep. You can't stop it. I'm not saying it's going to stop or there's a way to stop it, but you can just continuously minimize it. Because here's the thing, as long as a problem exists, there is always a way to get it addressed in some kind of a way. So like, okay, every customer reaches out with that question. That is the reason they have created chatbots that are programmed with the FAQs or an instant response that has the FAQs inside of there. So there's 12 different ways of dealing with this wherever the customer is. Because it's like saying, people message me on the Instagram all the time rather than buying it on the Etsy. Well, maybe you need to maintain Instagram. So like, just is what it is. But it also indicates the things that you say no to. A customer can message you. You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer. You might lose a sale. You might not. Because customers who email that way and can't read the description are probably really needy and expensive. So have an autoresponder, and that's just how you operate. You don't have to be everything to everybody. Meaning that your description of what you're trying to sell, that's why questions come about. Oh, gotcha. What's something you would have to do if you have to start all over again? So if I was starting over again tomorrow, it's always kind of an interesting question because when you start over, you don't really start over. Like I have so much information about how to hire people and what is important and what is a good market and what is a good business. that you just avoid if you were doing it different, you just avoid all the mistakes you made the first time. For me, if Slant 3D caught fire tomorrow, I would probably just start it back up again if I was starting again, just like more condensed in a certain way. Because if Slant 3D burned down tomorrow, there would be no 3D printing API. There would be no service that has 1,000 machines that you can plug into an e-commerce store. But so that would need to be rebuilt. And I would say, well, we got to rebuild it. If somebody else created an equivalent to us and I was starting over, I would use them. I would build model configurator apps on top of them. I would just build the digital layer creating models on top of 3D printed, on top of a 3D printing infrastructure, because you get to have a warehouse where the shelves make the product. So you can figure out ways of making products and be like, oh, I'm going to build an AI app that makes custom pencil cups or something like that, and then market that. And then you're just a software provider, which is really, really cool. I do what Ryan Parks is doing here, which is, yeah, make a customizer that makes files and then just runs it through somebody else's print farm. The reason I started Slant 3D is that there were no print farms that did that, even though there should have been. So we decided, okay, we'll bite the bullet and do kind of this cruddy scut work of building out this infrastructure to where there are thousands of machines that can reliably support someone, so that whether you have one order or 10,000 orders, they still ship in 2 days, so that you actually have the scale to address whatever people need. So if the customer ordered customized print, maybe Gridfinity base plate plus all the inserts, how much time would I estimate for it landing on their doorstep? Like 5 days? Ryan, 99.5% of orders go out in under 2 days. And then you have time of shipping. So it's like 5 days. And we're working to decrease that. We'll have some more print farms up and active. So that'll continuously get shorter. We want to get shipping time to below 2 days, so that it's 2 days to create the thing, and then 1 to 2 days to create the thing. I think we'll get most orders down to 1 day this year, probably in the next 3 months or so, actually. But we're working on it. How many people work at Slant 3D? Less than 20. Less than 20 folks. Oh, thanks, Ryan. Glad that's good. Yeah, no, like all the infrastructure that we built was really important to making sure that stuff goes out well. So when an order comes into Slant 3D, it is automatically sliced and sent to a machine that's available. If it has any red flags, it goes into a review queue where a person will manually review it, and maybe adjust slicer settings or tweak it somehow, be like, that seam is going to create a really ugly part or something like that, and then readjust that. And then it goes back in and prints. And then, of course, we're running pretty high-speed printers, so they'll knock out most parts in somewhere probably under 5 hours for most parts, because most things are like the size of your fist. Once those parts come off, they're scanned off the machine, scanned into post-processing, where they're reviewed and evaluated. We're doing that both with a combination of humans and adding in more and more AI. So the part is evaluated, and then it's passed straight through into a holding area, where then shipping grabs it and puts it into a box. And then every box is a white box with blue crinkle paper on the inside. So it's a really good, high-quality unboxing experience. That is the sequence of events for stuff to happen. Overall, there's really, I don't know, the individual operations to happen on a part between submission and shipping is a bunch. And all of them have to go correctly to make sure that the part is good. But like, if the part isn't good, then it's a bad product, right? And people are building their stores on top of us. We cannot ship bad products. So right now, we know that 1 out of 300, 1 out of 400 orders have any sort of issue at all, as in like post office ran over it, or item missing, or something else there, or software bug that dropped something. About 1 out of 400 orders have that issue, or some issue. But there's that, given the fact that we're producing thousands of parts, that's pretty darn good. And we're going to push that lower and lower and lower. And quite frankly, UPS quotes 1% as error rates. So 1 out of 100 orders or packages just won't be delivered correctly. We are using them and still doing better than them, which I'm very proud of. How can we get another standard add-on included in the teleport process? Chris Jones, ask us. That's all you got to do. Email support@slant3d.com, and we will pretty much add your third-party part into there. In portals and portal storefronts, could the most profitable selling items be listed first rather than the order of designs being by latest? So if you have ones that are like popular, you can feature them. So like the items that you want to be at the top, you can feature, and then there's a row of featured items there. Let's see here. This is going to disrupt e-commerce in the long run. Everyone here is an early adopter. This is the replacement for drop shipping, original product or customized products in less time than drop shipping. You got it, Ryan. Ryan, you should reach out. Like, we should talk to you because you get it. You very clearly get this. And most people don't recognize this. You're building a customizer app on top of the API using the print farm, and you recognize that it's faster than drop shipping. You are way ahead of the game. Do reach out to us. Email info@slant3d.com because we'll want to help you with your project because you've got the right idea. But yeah, reach out to us and we'll see what else we can do to make sure that everything's set up appropriately and you're taking full leverage of it all. Because yes, you're totally right. This completely replaces drop shipping. Not only is it customizable and yes, original and unique products, but just like more products, because drop shipping is restricted to the stuff that exists. But 3D printing lets you actually create something new and original. So you're not like doing print on demand where you're like sticking something on a t-shirt and everybody else has the same t-shirt. You're now actually making something truly unique that no one else can get access to unless they design it from scratch. So yes, hugely powerful. How many printers do we have? So the tagline we always say is you get 1,000 printers whenever you connect to us. But the mega farm here in Idaho is spec'd out for 3,000 machines. But yes, basically anybody who signs up for teleport gets 1,000 machines on tap whenever they need it. Because you don't get to use them all. You don't get to have all of them. You get to have 1,000 machines available. That way, if you have 1,000 orders tomorrow, they still ship out in under 2 days. Yeah. Way ahead of the curve here. Ryan, we are ahead of the curve. Honestly, we're probably a little bit too far ahead. Like it is sort of funny. Like Slant 3D was probably created too early and is too far ahead of the curve because right now with Teleport, you can get access to 1,000 printers that will print and ship original items in under 2 days, which people can't really recognize how significant that is because it is so different than what has ever been possible before. The ability to manufacture an original item and ship it to a customer faster than an item can be pulled from a warehouse in some cases is so bananas to people that the world really doesn't know how to deal with it, to where it's possible we could go out of business because enough people just don't recognize how valuable that is and we're just too early. Where it's like we're the internet in 1995 when you want to be the internet in 2010. That's when you want to do it. So it's possible we could just be too early to this whole thing, but still worth doing. And you should take advantage of it if you're using it right now. Yeah, because like our biggest danger is that we might just be too early. What's up, Frowbox? Oh, sick, Ryan. Yeah, reach out. I'll get you connected with the dev team and I'll probably reach out because I'd rather like talk to you and see like what you're up with there. Do you have a reliable way to find what to sell? And how do I convince my parents to let me pay for basically anything online? I don't know how to convince your parents how to sell anything online, but about what to sell, pick something that you like. Sell something that you like. Sell something that you would buy, because then you can communicate it and then you can also get it going there. Like this is really important. If you are looking for a product to sell, you should sell something that you want. Sell an item that you like, that you would buy yourself, because this is something that you would be passionate about, but it's also something that you understand. That way you can communicate it to other people. If you wouldn't use it, if you don't understand the market, then you can't talk to the customer who would buy the thing. So you need to work on something that you like yourself. That way you can talk to the customer who is another version of you. So if you're looking for something to sell, sell something that you want yourself. That is the trick. How many sales do you have to have before you use Teleport? 0. You can sign up for Teleport free. Like, yeah, sign up for Teleport, start selling right away. If you make 1 sale a month or 0 sales over the next 6 months, it's all fine. You can use Teleport. There's nothing restricting you. There's no minimum for number of sales to use Teleport. Just go crazy. You sign up, it's free. Go for it. How do I convince them that paying for this is worth it and they will allow me? There's nothing you got to pay for. Like, you can start selling on portals for free, and you can find files that you can sell for free. So you don't have to pay for anything there, Fralbox. If you're your kid working on anything there, just go ahead, go online to like Maker World or something like that. Find some files that have a free commercial license, and go ahead and create some listings for them. Or here, like if you want to get started, we have a free tool called Cookie Conjure where you can generate cookie cutters. And if you like cookie cutters, you can make those files for free and start selling them on portals. And that is totally free to get started. It costs nothing. You don't have to convince your parents of anything. Just go. Can payments from portals be cashed in from via banks rather than PayPal? Right now it's PayPal. What is the problem with PayPal? Because PayPal was kind of more international than particular banks. But yeah, give me more context there. I exactly 1 sale so far on Teleport. Working to get a bunch more. Fantastic, Chris. Congratulations. The first sale is always the hardest. Like, that's always the thing. Once you have the first sale, then you have someone to latch on to. You're like, that person bought this thing. Now I need to go find more of that person. So yeah, first one is always the hardest when you're looking around for what there is. And then, yeah, you run from there. Do you guys print using your filament and you ship it for free? I'm the guy in Israel. We don't ship for free, but your customer pays for shipping. And we will ship it for you. So you don't lose any money on that. Yes, but we print using our filament. So when you get an order, we will print the item using our factory, our printers, our filament, and then we will ship it straight to the customer. You need to make sure that you charge the customer for shipping and charge the customer for the item, but then we will take care of everything else. So you can be selling to someone in the United States, even though you're in Israel, because you use our factory to make the parts for them. Transaction fee and international issue from conversion. Well, the conversion or the exchange rates won't be any different with bank deposits. If only there was a bot out there that would market the models, I'd actually make use of the 200 something models I made for myself. So Simon Yelfimov, if you are making models, number one, get them listed someplace. But if you're making models and you want to sell just models, we're releasing a feature inside of Teleport where designers can upload models, and then other Teleport sellers can sell prints of them. You will get a royalty off the sale of every one of the prints of your models, which is way better than subscription because it informs you which models are popular and which ones are selling well. And you can have control of your models way better. We're gonna be talking about this a bunch over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, you'll be able to submit models into Teleport and then make money from other people selling them. So ahead of the curve. How do people find the product I want to sell? You'll have to learn to market. You can either make videos on TikTok or Instagram or do live streams like this, or or you got to learn to market or sell it. Or you can email them up or call them or do all these other things to tell people that you're selling a product. Still feels wrong. How would you guys earn from me? Don't I pay you for the filament you use in the work? Yes, you do. When you Fralbox, when you upload a file to Teleport, we tell you how much it costs to make and ship that item. Then you sell it for more. So when you upload, if you uploaded a file for this, it'd probably say, oh, this costs $6 to print, and it'll cost $5 or $10 to ship. So you sell it for $10 plus $6, $16 plus some more. and you can sell it for like 20 bucks. And now you're making $4, you pay us our $6, and then we pay the shipper for however much they charged for us. And that's how you make money. Simon, if you're interested in that, please email us at info@slant3d.com and we'll get you on the list of file designers. Can you tell me what genre of items you're making? Is it like tools or pots or home goods or something like that? Yeah, let me know what it is. And we'll get you on the list so that we can tell you when it goes live. It should, that catalog feature should be going live in probably about, I'm going to say like 3 weeks. We're going to try to get turned loose as soon as we can. Hey, Fernando. Jack Marcel, Sour Waves? Who's Sour Waves? Anything and everything I need and could not buy. Oh, yeah, you're in the right spot. Literally, the kind of home designers who are like making door jambs and spare hinges and spare parts and that kind of thing, and just individual solutions, great spot inside of there. In Teleport, we've already released about 250 files of our own internal files for people to try to sell that we've been using as like a beta. So those files are there. People have been able to use them, and that's all we're running through there. Hashmaker, who used that hoodie design for a flower drop recently. Oh. That hoodie design. Sour Waves? I gotta Google this now. Sour Waves. Oh, interesting. If that's indeed them. Interesting. Okay. So basically, I pay you guys the filament cost plus shipping and a bit more that charges the product, and then I change the customer plus a bit more. Correct. Yes, that's exactly what you do there, Frallbox. How can I get on that file list? I have several dozen as well. Chris, email us at info@slant3d.com. If anybody has files and they want to put them into Teleport so that other people can sell prints and you earn royalties from those prints, email us at info@slant3d.com. And we'll get you on that list for when it goes live. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. That'll probably actually change these streams too. These streams will start turning into mobile streams or desktop streams, and I'll just spend this hour designing a widget that will then go on a Teleport that other people can sell, or I can design stuff for people. That'll be kind of fun. Oh, actually, yeah. Anybody in the chat right now, if you're looking for files, is there an item that you want? What are some wish lists? And I can just design them, and we'll make a video designing those items, and we'll put them up on Teleport so you guys can get a hold of them. Tell me what files you want me to design, and we'll just design them for you. What else, folks? Okay. I'm looking at Sour Waves. I have their Instagram. I'm not logged into Instagram, so it's not showing stuff. But here, let me look at this. That's not the same one. Joint commerce. Making wild memes, growing for decades. There's several Sour Waves out there, man. You should design some cool mechanisms. Abyssal Cactus, you already have some cool mechanisms. We just need to get you added into where you're adding your mechanisms to Teleport so other folks can move them. Your calculator does all the work. If I want to sell through you, yeah, it'll tell you what the cost is, and then you can just increase the cost from there. I have some marketing ideas for you. Go for it, Ryan. Hit me with them. I would like a TPU fidget. Sean Tech Lab, what kind of TPU fidget? I'll bet I can do it out of PLA. I bet I can make it just as flexible with PLA. Waves with a Z. Yeah, Jack Magic. Jack Mace. I'm looking at it. Is it a website? I'm spelling it with a Z. I got it with a Z. It's in there. It's on Instagram. And there's X. 88,000 followers. I just can't look at their Instagram and I don't get what the thing is on the Instagram. The Quarter Zip Bros. Packaging Wars. Live, laugh, live, all the things. Do I have a phone that works now? Stupid. Nice. Okay. We were supposed to do this on Instagram, but Instagram went. Yeah. I'm looking at them. I just don't get it. What are they sellers? What do you want me to do with this, Jack? Am I supposed to reach out to them, or are they down for you doing 3D printed stuff? Why am I looking at this? I was just curious from your comment, but now I need to know what it was. Are you all going to get some ASA or anything that's food safe with a higher melting temp than PETG? All of our plastics are currently effectively food safe. Working on adding in ASA, but there hasn't been a big demand for it. Chris, are you moving more than 10 kg of material a month there? We can get it added in as soon as we got somebody nailed down who's a good power user of it. See you later, Ryan. Nothing, just commenting that the design you just showed was used by my homies. I didn't show any designs. Okay. As soon as I do, I will ping you. Sounds good, Chris. What else we got? We got about 10 minutes left, guys. Probably about 5 minutes left, actually. I'm not going to go for the full hour. I got to do other stuff. I got to get back to work today. I gotta work on quoting for some production clients, and then send out a couple of emails, ideally for people, and then move from there. Okay. I work 7 days a week. My work schedule generally during the weekdays, I go from 7 to at least 10 every day. I'm not going to say that all of those hours are like productive work hours. That would be duration. Not every single day is a full 15 or 16 hour day, but I never had a week of fewer than 70 hours ever in my life. And yes, I work on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is generally more of like a half day to where it's like noon to 8 or so. And then Sunday starts a little bit early. We're probably about 10. And then, it's kind of more of just a regular full day of like 8 hours too. The weekends are a little bit lighter, and then they're meant to kind of give space. Because when you work on the business all week long, you start to get in your head about it. So you got to step away and do something else. So I'll like read or go for a run or hang out with people or go do brunch or something like that. Just things so that you can give some space and some mix to whatever you're doing. Then during the week is back to the 12, 14-hour days or so. Generally, I was talking to one of the guys, and the structure of my week needs to turn into, I need to do 1 full day of content, 1 full day of sales, 1 full day of production, which is working on the floor and like factory operations, and then 1 full day of like client prep and project prep and that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what we work in. And then, another day that we're slightly less product focused this year. Last year, I was pretty much all days was on teleport or some product feature of that kind of stuff. We're interacting with that. This year, it's a little bit different because now we're trying to scale it up. So I got to turn into a different sort of a human. You must either love what you do or else enjoy pain. Both of those. I do like what I do. I think it's really what I do. I like working on something that is useful, because if Slant 3D didn't exist, then this would not exist. So there is no 3D printing API. There is no print farm with over 1,000 machines that people can access. If Slant 3D died, all of that would disappear. So it's really important that we can continue to do it, which is a good motivator. It is a ton of pain. I'm not going to lie about that. It is freaking miserable most of the time. But it's necessary, because what it does is it enables someone across the world or in a dorm room to create something and immediately have it manufactured. And that's never been possible before. If you wanted to make something 5 years ago, you had to already be rich. You had to have $10,000 or $100,000, know how to buy a mold in China, get it shipped across here, store it in a warehouse for a year, and then hope it sells. Now, with Teleport and Slant 3D and even portals, anyone, anywhere in the world can create an item and then try to get it sold. And it costs zero. Listing an item on portals costs zero. You just have to create it. You create the model for it, just the same way you would write code for an app or write the story for a book. It makes that intellectual effort of creating stuff the only thing that you have to focus on. And if people love the product, it will roll. But then all the infrastructure is taken care of for you. Kind of like YouTube. Making a 3D model is now like creating a YouTube video. You post it to YouTube and YouTube makes sure it's distributed. If you post a 3D model to portals, it takes care of all of the sales and all of the manufacturing and all of the shipping for you. And that's really, really important and really significant that is so easy. And we're the only ones to be doing that, even remotely scalably right at the moment. And yeah, it just lets so many more creators create awesome products. So yes, I work long hours trying to grow this thing and keep it alive, because if we die, that might go away. And so we're gotta not die. So we do what we gotta do. Did you code Slant 3D stuff or your partner or something? So my background is in robotics. I wrote many of the initial systems for Slant 3D. So like an early version of our Kraken control software was me. I still lead the software team from an architecture and a design standpoint. I would say my superpower is in user interface design, and then good architecture at kind of a high level and that kind of stuff. But for the last like 2 years or so, I have not written a lot of software myself. I've had to move into other areas. So like the main things that like absorb my day this month is sales, because I understand what our system is. I understand why it's valuable. And I am an engineer who can talk to humans on the phone, and our other team members can't do that as well as I can. So it's my job to build that out so that the company can increase revenue. We have the product and the whole team there is good and valuable in building those out. So we have the guys who work on Kraken, the guys who work on Teleport, the YouTube team, customer support. My job is to be where we don't have someone and to make sure everybody else is aligned and moving in the right direction. Chris, thank you so much. I'm so glad you think Teleport is easy to use. We have been fighting with that a ton to try to make it easier and easier. Like with this new revamp that we did for Teleport, one of like the primary design targets was like, how do we get someone to a win in the first 1 minute of interaction? Like, how do they create a match? How do they then match that up to Shippo and everything else? Because when Teleport was first released, it was a lot of work to kind of get it set up. And we were like, it's too much of a lift to go from no Teleport to connected to Teleport. We need individual levels. So with the new redesign, we optimized that a bunch, and we're going to continue to. The guys, the main developer on Teleport, his mandate is like, get people to a win in faster and more clearly, and with a big reward at the end of it all. How do you see the market in other countries in 3D printing? Brazil, Portugal, Spain, and US is the leader. I don't know. It depends on where you are. Brazil is very forward in 3D printing. Portugal, I don't really have a ranking for that. Spain, I don't really have a ranking for them. Like, I don't look at the countries individually because I don't think it's really relevant. 3D printing is already an international thing, because like Teleport, someone in Brazil can sell stuff in the United States via Teleport. And here in a year or two, they will be able to sell stuff into Europe. And then someone in the US will be able to sell into Brazil, because we'll just put print farms all over the planet. And so it doesn't really matter, because it's more of an individual thing than a countrywide thing. So yeah. How do you see my one sale basically required no work from me. It automatically was built and shipped after I had everything set up anyway. Fantastic, Chris. I love to hear. That's the experience we want to create there. Hope for me in a small city. Thanks. No, yeah, Garate. I grew up in a town with 100 people. My school was a one-room schoolhouse with 13 kids, K through 8. I came from nowhere. And I always fought with the battle of like access because I didn't have fast internet until I was like in high school. And that's not because I'm old. That's just because we didn't have it. When we were building Teleport, we designed it kind of for younger me. Like a designer who's out in the middle of nowhere or in a small town or a kid in some country with just a net connection, we wanted them to be able to take advantage of this. And that was a primary mandate for how we created it. Yeah. All right. Folks, anything else? Let me grab a quick screenshot there real fast. Nice. Okay. Like if we go and move through, yeah, is what it is. Yeah, Garati, just start, create something, sign up for portals, upload some files, and start trying to sell something. Make some Instagrams and TikToks from there. That's the thing to do. All right, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up. We do this stream every single day. This next week, I'm not sure if they will all be at noon. We're probably going to move to a different time of the day. I'm probably going to shoot for earlier because I would like to catch more people who are in the EU, and it's nighttime there. So I'm going to see if we can shift some of that stuff around and move these streams to a slightly different time. So we'll start trying to do them earlier in the morning. Thank you all so much. And we'll go from there. Melting Point 3D, do they order products from Teleport? Anyone can order products from Teleport. Yeah, just plug it into your e-commerce store. Like you can connect Teleport to your Etsy store or your Shopify. And when somebody orders from Shopify, Teleport will print and ship the item for you. Have a great day. Have a good one, guys.